Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation. Welcome to the Love Ambassador Morning. I am John Halcyon Stinn. This is our daily practice of gratitude and connection, and just taking a moment to set our sails in the direction of the person that we want to be today. If you can pop in for a moment or two, if you can stay for 20 minutes, we just want to know that we are surrounded in this world by like-minded, open-hearted people. And it just feels so good knowing that we're not alone. So thanks for being here. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for leaving a comment. Thanks for sharing something that you're grateful for. I like to start with a song because it makes me feel great. And if my belly is full, it's 'cause of something I ate. And if you are a friend of mine, I hope you'll stay for a while. And if you're a grown-up person, I hope you feel like a child. 'Cause it's Love Morning and we're gonna share all the stuff. Oh, it is Love Morning where we know that we're enough. Love Morning now. Good morning. For those of us new here, that song is made up, impromptu, melody and lyrics on the spot. So forgive that child rhyme. Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Juan. Good morning, Brent. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I am feeling quite full of gratitude right now. Grateful for this home. Grateful for my life. And when I say life, I don't mean just the air in my lungs and the consciousness in this body, but the life, the people in my life, the things that I encounter in my day, the opportunities, the amenities, the comforts, the challenges. So grateful for this wild adventure of this life. I've been pondering a little bit of the extended adventure since I put together a photo. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen, see if I can do that. Let's try it. Let's try. Let's try to put it up on the screen. See if I can find it. Of a little, like a bunch of photos of me throughout my life. And well, not just my life, but my from college, post-college till now, like a nice 25-year period of time between these two, or these multiple images of myself. And so I've been thinking about a lot more about the extended life journey and a lot about aging as well. So I think I'm going to be dipping my little brain toes into thoughts about aging for the next few days, weeks, perhaps, maybe for the rest of my life. Because guess what? I am going to be continually aging from now on, and actually from before as well. It's one of those certainties. Good morning, Curie. Curie is grateful to be a love ambassador and to have the opportunity to guide a client to reach a huge breakthrough. I'm grateful to be feeling aligned, confident, and motivated. Beautiful. So nice to get those affirmations, external proof, evidence that your gifts have value and can make a difference. So well done and bravo. Brent says, grateful for one more day walking the most perfect pup. We had a cocktail party. I was going to apologize, but I'll just say thanks for your understanding as I tend to touch my face and my hair more often. It is a different experience to have a whole bunch of unruly, wiry things on my face. So occasionally I feel them like I'll get them out of my mouth, or I'll catch my reflection and it looks like they're all Anyway, thanks for your understanding. We had a gathering, and we delivered invitations to our neighbors, and I think we are the only house that does not have aggressively barking dogs. So if some criminals are just casing the neighborhood, by default, I think they're going to rob us because we are the least guarded by canines. Good morning, Julie. Julie says, this morning I have gratitude for my carefully curated place in this fucked up world. I get that. I get that. I think hopefully in that is recognizing that the entire world isn't fucked up. There's just a whole bunch that is. It's kind of the nature of this classroom we've been born into, right? And so I think part of the game of this life that we're being grateful for is how do you curate a path, comrades, collaborators, projects? How do you find a way through that is able to appreciate and find and build on and grow the stuff that's not so fucked up? Gerbot is grateful for the people in my life and for the digital tools that allow us to connect across space and time, which we are experiencing in this very moment. Yeah, me too. One of the tools that I've been using more lately, I was really resistant because is like voice memos when you're instead of texting, like sending a voice memo. And at first I did not like them because sometimes people tend to talk for a long time, and I would prefer to just scan. Like I don't want to have to listen to someone saying, and I might come on the 3rd, or maybe it's going to be the 4th, but I'm thinking maybe the 3rd is when traffic will be better. And then, well, yeah, I think, but I might come at, I'm like, I don't want to listen to all that. And then also, if somebody gives me like details in a voice message, like I need to be able to go back and look at the dates and the times and like the facts so I was resistant. But the voice memos, it transcribes them. So I can scan and then listen, or listen while I'm scanning. And I found them to be, I find myself using them more as like if I'm thinking of somebody, like I do a lot of just thinking about you texts or hug, just to like have the use of digital tools to let someone know that at a certain moment in the day, I was thinking about them and I care about them and I love them. And a voice memo is like, it's that, but way more powerful. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure if I have the time to get into a phone call right now, or I don't want to disturb them. I know they're working right now, but I can just be like driving and just go boop, boop, just be like, hey, just thinking about how important you are to me and how grateful I am for our friendship. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I love you. Thunk. What a cool thing to be able to digitally do across time and space. And have that little bottled message in a bottle to the specific person. And then whenever they get a chance to open it, pop, they get doused in love. Right here, right now. I hope that was a Fatboy Slim reference, Gerbot. I don't know why I don't mention Fatboy Slim when people say, who are your favorite musicians? Because the truth is, probably Fatboy Slim and Crystal Method. I put up the picture that you can see of all these versions of me. One, because it's hilarious if you don't know my history, I think. And because it has spawned some comments that have made my already pondering about aging brain into some really kind of interesting explorations. For example, I had one friend that wrote, "Wow, you look, you look and have always looked great. How long does this span?" And I'm like, "Oh, good. That's a good question. Oh yeah, that long hair picture. I believe I think that was like 1998. So it's 27 years, something like that." But then right after that was a comment that was like, the gray hair and beard definitely makes you look 20 years older. It's important how you feel inside, of course, but just want to be honest with you. And I was like, I wrote back, I'm like, well, I am 25 years older. And they were like, I know, but I saw you at this event, and just saying that you look 20 years older with the beard than when I saw you a couple years ago. And like, I'm pretty sure that what they were saying was, I'm being honest with you because you should know that you look worse, right? It's not like you're saying to like a 16-year-old kid, like, "Oh, hey, you look older in that suit. Oh, you look like a young man. Look at you." Because I think once you hit 21 years old, you never want to hear you look older, right? And how unfortunate that we culturally, kind of without even thinking about it, are maintaining that cultural expectation that it's better to look younger. It's better to look younger. And I certainly am in that, I've fallen into that. I've been bred into it. I've done everything I could to keep myself looking as young as possible. In fact, the last time I had a beard, I just saw a Facebook memory pop up, and it said, "I shaved my beard because my dad said you look older." And I'm trying to think about, like, why does it feel different now? I mean, I am older. And I think that I'm really lucky in that I have one of my favorite people in the whole world is my grandfather, or was my grandfather, I knew him as an older man and then as an elderly, wise old man. And so there's a part of me that's always aspired to be old looking. Like, I don't want to have an old body and in pain, but I admire people who have the lived in look of an older face, and so I like the way I look right now. I like looking older, but to be fair, I don't think I could have been in this headspace until I was in a secure relationship with a partner that I believe loves me no matter what and finds me beautiful no matter what. And part of the reason I believe that is because that's how I feel about her. There's no haircut or body change that would affect how beautiful I believe she is. I mean, I'm lucky because she's objectively gorgeous, but I see a different depth of beauty. And so I trust that she sees it in me. And so if I don't look what would be objectively the most like attractive as possible, if I'm not groomed in the way or wearing the style or whatever, like, I don't feel like that is going to jeopardize my connection with the only person whose attractiveness connection matters to me. But I think if I was single it would be really hard for me to hear things like, "You look older." And I think that would be like, "Oh crap, am I ruining my chance to lure some attractive mate into my net? Am I using the wrong bait?" So I've just been thinking a lot about the ways in which we dismiss, judge age, and the way we kind of pedestalize youth. There's great things about being young. I can look at the young versions of myself and be like, man, that guy was cocky. That guy, he had a confidence that was, but he had a crazy confidence that was masking a super deep insecurity. So I've had the opportunity to kind of reduce a lot of the deep insecurity and have enough wisdom to reduce some of the extreme confidence. So it's just enoughness. And from my experience with my grandfather, what I witness from and to a degree my dad, someone who carries himself with enoughness, without bravado, without insecurity, like that is a very compelling place. That is the voice that comes from that place is worth listening to. And it's unfortunate, I think, and I'm guilty of it, of that we don't foster the connections between elders. In fact, at the cocktail party that we just had, I was telling a neighbor about some interactions that I had with my grandfather and my father and things that they told me. And he's like, "Whoa, you listen to your elders?" I was like, I mean, I'm very blessed that my elders are super wise. He goes, "There's lots of wise elders, but so many people don't listen to their parents or to elders." I'm like, yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. So, now I'm going to read some of the gratitudes and comments in one moment, but there's one part of this age exploration that I will get deeper into, and but as I am growing, I know more and more people that are taking advantage of technologies or treatments to reduce the signs of aging, whether that be fillers or Botox or surgeries. And, I've always said that, like, if I was born a woman, I'm pretty sure I would have augmented my breasts when I was younger. Like, so pretty much 100%. And I want to, in the spirit of transparency and truth, I had Botox a few weeks ago. I'm not ashamed, not proud, but I do want to explain why. I have developed a crease between my eyes. So it's not that noticeable with the lighting right now, but my resting face tends to look like I have a little bit of a scorn on my face. And so I would find myself in photographs all the time noticing that what feels to me like a peaceful face from the outside looks like I'm scorning, frustrated. And I was like, I don't want that to be the way I appear in the world. And so, confession, one of the reasons why I wear glasses more than I really need to is because I like the way I look in them. And one of the main reasons I like the way I look with them is because they cover that wrinkle, that line, so that I instantly look friendlier in glasses than I do without. So there you have it. I thought, like, I notice it all the time. There is a way, potentially. They said that, then they saw the depth of it. They're like, it's probably not going to go away after one treatment, but it could help. And so I'm like, I certainly am one who has explored all sorts of different avenues of life experience. So I am going to explore Botox and to see if I am more happy with the way I appear in the world without a line between my eyes. I'm not trying to hide my age. I'm like, don't touch the wrinkle. Like I love those wrinkles. I love these wrinkles. I want to look old. I just don't want to look mad. Does that make sense? So happy to answer any questions or receive judgments, whatever. Good morning, everyone. Chris says, I made a mention during Chip Chat of my current gray beard to feel sage with you guys in Santa Barbara. Yeah, I know. I'm when the picture that we have on our, well, actually, there's a picture that Ishmael and I have together, and when I had it, I barely had any hair on my face, and now I'm like, I kind of look like I'm a follower of Ishmael now, which I kind of am. Which, by the way, there's, I think, 4 seats left and there's 3 weeks left and 4 seats. So it's definitely going to sell out. If you are someone or know someone who's like, I might go, I would get a ticket. I would get it today, and then you can get your money back until the first of the month. David, good morning. David says, I'm grateful for my good health and for finding the motivation to get to the gym this morning. Already? Boom! Well done, and thanks for inspiring me. I actually, I was almost going to take credit for, like, well, me too. No, I did not work out this morning. I did send an email or a text to a friend of mine who is a trainer of personal trainers and asked him for advice on finding a trainer that would be well-informed for an older body. Like, I don't want to hire a 24-year-old buff kid who knows about how to get, big gains and strong. I want to work with somebody who's like, okay, you're feeling a little pinch in your shoulder. Okay, let's work on the way you're doing this exercise is a little off. That's why you're feeling that pain. Let's try to strengthen that. Like, that's what I need. So thanks for the inspiration, David. Andrew's saying about aging, I believe, it's a sickness in this country that we pretend that aging is not a positive process. Life is the journey from birth to death, and our transformation during that time marks our life. Yeah, and it's crazy that how death is so out of sight, out of mind. Like so often you hear about people that are in the hospital and with a terminal diagnosis, and we don't talk about death. I've certainly given a lot of thought. I've recorded a video that I want played at my celebration of life. Because I've been very clear that death is going to be a part of this experience. What I haven't been as clear about is the aging, the dying. Now I'm knowing more people going through the dying process. That is something that I have more to consider and think about. Death seems like no big whoop. Dying can be, that's a doozy. Gerbot says, worse or better? I like to think of aging as ripening. Just look at them space cowboys. They so ripe. And I think that, I mean, that is the correct attitude. And it is one that our culture, when there's an actor who still has all his hair and we go, wow, he looks great. We don't say, he looks ripe, or it's like, he's not ripening well. And I mean, I guess I get it, like that, but I also think that it's one of those things that we really need to be aware of how much subconscious programming, like how the industries of appearance and youthfulness are so massive, and the whole concept of marketing, is something's wrong with you. We have products to fix it. And the aging process, if the cultural story that there's something wrong with aging, then we're looking for the products that can fix the problem when it's not a problem. It's a thing. It's like, oh no, the sun is setting. What are we going to do? The sun is setting. Like, yeah, that's what happens. Let's enjoy the sunset. It's going to get a little darker and it's going to be beautiful. Julie says, the 50s are the best so far. I feel that way now too. I feel that way because I look at my life now with Lisa and the therapy and the sobriety, and going like, yeah, this is the best. But my 51, when I was really starting to feel my body behaving differently than it did in my 30s and 40s, I was having a hard time getting on board with it being better. But now, as like that thing I was describing with my grandpa and my dad, of that reducing the insecurity inside, reducing the bravado outside, and being that's a peaceful place. Juan says, looking older with a gorgeous beauty on your side makes me look like a rich man. That's what I tell my wife. That's, I told Lisa, we were talking about me looking older, I go, and I was just telling her about how beautiful she is. I go, I bet when we go out, people think I'm rich, because why would she be with this old guy? And let me also make another confessional thing, is that it doesn't show up really, I think, on the resolution of this webcam, but my skin is not great. Like I won't say it's not great, but I easily get kind of a redness, and like for a while, I've been doing really good without dairy, very little of the eczema, but I do have fear. Like I want to look like an old man. I do have fear of having like really red, splotchy, damaged skin as an older man. Like it would be harder. I'll admit, it will be harder for me to look in the mirror and be like, and love my old face. I want wrinkles. I remember when people would say, if you get sun, your skin will be like leathered when you get older. And I would look at like Marlboro Man pictures. I'm like, I would love to have like tan leathered skin, but that's not really what happens. You get like red, blotchy, blood vessels to the surface, like real sensitive skin. It's nothing like leather. It's like rice paper. Good morning, Faith. Faith is grateful to be me today, meaning Faith, which is the best thing in the world to be grateful for. Love from Key West. Thanks, Faith. Good to see you. David says, love the bit on elders. So important that we understand that the best age is the one you are. Boom! I think I mentioned it yesterday, but actually I didn't mention this yesterday, but an extension to something I said yesterday. My mom told me something years ago that really hit me hard. She said she was probably 65 at the time, and she had a picture of herself at 30. She had, like, right before she had her first child, and she's looking at this beautiful young woman, and she's admiring how beautiful in her beautiful body. And she said, when I was this person, I looked in the mirror and all I could see was how fat I was and how much I hated my body. And I think that's a really good thing to remember. The meme that I mentioned yesterday is try to do this exercise if you ever feel like, oh God, I'm like, I wish I had my 25-year-old body back. Imagine yourself at 80, waking up, looking in the mirror, everything hurts, you're hobbling, you've got a walker, you've got medications lining your bedstand, can't hear, you can barely, and then you go to bed at 80 and you wake up into the body you have now. I wake up to this 53-year-old body. And there's so much I can do with it. There's so much I can do with this incredible body. And to try to flip that switch in our mind, it's the crapper cone. It's the whole practice of gratitude. Yes, I could focus on how many ways I am not as strong as I was. Or I could be grateful for all the ways that I'm so much stronger that I'm going to be in the future. I got to take advantage of this. What a gift to have this day in this body. I say that as Lisa and my friend Steven are doing yard work right outside, as I am. I will help them after this. I will use this body. Chris says, other than wizards, older people don't get the same Riz quotient as younger attractive people. I think we should try to infuse that connection. Like, we'll have Riz and Rizzard. Oh man, that's deep. That's Rizzard. Although I don't even know how to use Riz that well. It means like charisma. But I think Rizzard. I think you're onto something, Chris. Gerbat says, life should be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving, should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. Hunter S. Thompson. I have so many complicated feelings about that because Hunter S. Thompson was one of the people, the heroes of mine, that helped me justify some habits that were destructive. I saw a play about Hunter S. Thompson that went through his life, and I think that should be one of the guides is Hunter, and then alongside maybe someone who enjoyed the last chapters of their life. But I agree. That's heck yeah. Hello to you, Dawn. Hello to you in Utah. Good morning. David says, but you have kind and welcoming eyes and energy. That's a thinker's line in the middle of your brow. Neil Peart, for example, had a pronounced set of wrinkles in the furrow of his brow. It does make sense. You want to look surly, but you don't. Well, Well, I'm just I'm confessing and inviting you into the thoughts and the explorations and the decisions as I always have. We'll see. Maybe I'll decide that it's a silly use of money, or maybe I will say, hey, I've always believed that this is the art piece that I have the most control over, and I'm irked by the damaged canvas right here. So I am going to repaint. And people, I might go pink again. I don't know. My current plan is to let this grow indefinitely. But I reserve the right to change my mind about everything and anything. Andrew says, I was at a dinner once with 11 other people, men and women. I was the only one who hadn't had Botox, so I think you're good. Wow, that's wow. Julie says, the death worker loves to talk, think, and dream about death. And I'm so encouraged by the growth and of that industry. Like Betsy, my co-host of Stay Sparked, which we're actually recording today. Good reminder for myself. She moved to North Carolina, and they've got this super active death and dying community. They have meetings, and I guess they have them in Encinitas now too. Selena, who is a guest on Stay Sparked, they have monthly death and dying town halls and just talk about it. So we're on the right track. And thank you, Julie, for shining a light on that path. Good morning, Adrian. Adrian says, I've been watching your videos since 1997. Man, I feel old. Well, 1997, those videos were this big, and they downloaded very, very slowly. But great to see you. Good morning. Andrew says, the alternative to getting old isn't that great. That's a good point. And that's at 10, I'm getting online with Betsy to do a kind of our first of a couple tributes to Giannis Stay Sparked episodes. So yeah, I would so prefer a couple decades of getting old and aging friend. Yeah. Pierre, good morning. Pierre says, grateful for so much today, this human experience. Steve says, good morning. I've had several discussions with lifelong friends about being in our 50s. Everyone agrees it has been our best time so far, especially those of us that now have grown children. That makes sense, If you've got grown children and you have a good relationship with them, that is a treasure beyond what any king can acquire. That's the juice. I consider my relationship with my parents to be, one of the most important things in my life. And I hope that that Asher and I, end up being able to continue and have a beautiful, loving relationship. Rizzards. Oh, dude, I'm a Rizzard. Halcyon the White is a Rizzard, or perhaps Glamdolf. Pierre, you're on fire today. One says, time to go blue. Go blue. That way you can work like a porta potty worker. I think that will be a good look for me. If I'm not pay that picture there, I think I put one of me with blue over in the left-hand corner. Okay, let's thank you for joining me today and pondering this whole wonderful life experience. Wherever you are, why don't you join me? Oh, I didn't do my shirt. It says, I got my new I Love My Problems shirt. Although I don't like the way this one, this is a test and it's not my favorite, but I do love my problems. Wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, appreciating this body, whatever age and state it's in. Appreciate connection and being able to have these conversations and think about these thoughts with one another and know that we're not alone on this journey. So let's take a deep breath in and hug one another. Feel us hugging you. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thanks for being here for Hug Nation. I love you.